Hello. Morning. Welcome back to You Better Work. It's about 8:30 here and I've just woken up. Bit of a different one today. I thought as part of kind of demystifying the PhD process, I would do a day in the life of a PhD student, because I think it's quite difficult to know what doing a PhD actually entails on a day-to-day basis. So hopefully this is helpful. I see lots of people sort of filming things in labs and doing scientific PhDs. I will not be in a lab. I don't do a science PhD. And people might comment like, that's not what you're meant to do day to day on a PhD, but we shall see. As I say, it's 8:30. I am not an early riser. I don't eat breakfast. It just does not agree with me. So I am just having a cup of berry tea, sat with the dog on my lap and just chilling out. I've got an interview with someone at 9 o'clock, so I'm going to go get ready for that in a sec and then perhaps talk you through the rest of my day. Have to apologise in advance. I have a cold, so my voice is a bit weird today, but hopefully this will be helpful to people thinking about, whether a PhD is for them or not. I had a bit of a revelation about my research last night, which often happens to me late at night. I'm quite awake late at night, so I often think about things, and that meant that I didn't get to sleep for a while, so I'm quite tired as well, but it's good because I had a revelation. So, swings and roundabouts, but I hope you enjoy this video. Please do hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up if you do. And let me know if you want to see more content like this, because as I say, I've never done anything like this before. It's going to be a bit weird. I don't know how much I'll film in public places because that might be quite embarrassing, but here we go. And this is Larry, and that's his squirrel, which is his favourite toy at the moment. So yeah, we've got a nice bit of sunshine at the moment, haven't we? Hello, so it's just before 9 o'clock. I am all dressed and ready for the day and for my interview. I have to wear glasses all the time now, which is really getting on my nerves. I keep knocking them on things. But I was getting really bad migraines, so it has really helped with that. What to say? I am quite nervous about this interview. I am doing something called a qualitative case study methodology. A methodology is sort of how you're going to carry out your research. So are you going to do interviews? Are you going to do surveys? Are you going to look at archival records, that kind of thing? Apologies again for the cold voice. So what I'm doing is case studies are like where you follow particular examples of something. And qualitative, I'm looking at interviews, conducting interviews, and then analysing the sort of text and what people say in those interviews as kind of my main methodology. So that was probably a really awful explanation of that, but it is, before 9 o'clock in the morning. So yes, I'm quite nervous. I'm doing it over Zoom, which I think is better for me. It's really easy to record. And the past couple of days I've been doing some transcribing, which is where you type up what is said in the interview. Some people pay other people to do that. I definitely can't afford that, even though it's not very expensive. And some people don't do it. They just listen through and pick out key quotes. But actually I found it really helpful transcribing the whole thing, and that was part of what led to me having a revelation last night about my research, because I'm really kind of in touch with the text, and that was what my sort of PhD supervisor said would happen. So yes, I'm going to do that now, and then I'll give you another update. So that is my interview done. It went really well. I am looking forward to transcribing that. The person I was interviewing said some real gems for my research. So that is really, really useful. I feel like I've had a really productive start to the morning and the sun's coming out, which is good. I am just about to log on to an online conference and I like to keep the dog company. I'm very lucky that I have my own office at home, which you've seen me in before. Lovely wonky photo right there. Problems with having a gallery wall. I won't show you the rest of the room because my partner will get very annoyed for putting the state of my messiness online. But I'm very lucky to have this space at home and have a really nice desk. And it was one of the priorities when we bought this house that I would have this space, as I knew that I was going to be studying and also working from home. So yes, but when I'm doing something like an online conference or something that doesn't require me to necessarily be as engaged, I'm just kind of taking notes, then I do go downstairs to keep the dog company. So I'm going to go do that. Somebody is very much looking for some company, aren't you? I'm going to come watch the conference here. Yeah, are you excited for the conference? Day 3. So I'm back on the sofa ready for the conference. What I found really good about starting the PhD sort of coming out of COVID is that lots of things are still running online and lots of things that are run online have been free. So I've been looking out for things that have been free. Obviously, I'm due to do a bit of a live update, which will be coming soon, but I've been self-funded for the past year, and so I haven't had kind of any additional funds to be able to pay for conferences. But there's been so many great things online that have really, really added to my understanding and my research and been really thought-provoking for me. So I would definitely recommend looking out for that. The main way I find things is on Twitter. Twitter, I think I've mentioned before, is really big in the museum community, but also in the academic community, I'm finding. And I tend to just see someone shares that they're talking at something or they're going to something, click on it, book a place and see how it is. The great thing is that you can dip in and out of talks. So this has been a 3-day conference that I've been attending. I am now working 2.5 days a week, so I've gone part-time. So I have a full 2.5 days on my PhD, which again, I'll update you, but that's the headline basically about what has changed in my life, which has been amazing in terms of that kind of work PhD life balance that I definitely didn't have before, but it didn't really matter because of lockdown. So I've completely lost my train of thought. But yes, what I was going to say was yesterday I worked half a day, so I couldn't join the first half of the conference, but I could join the second half. That's the really nice thing about them being online. There's been some talks that have been more relevant than others, so some of them I will sit and pay full attention to, and others I will have on in the background. So yes, I'm looking forward to this. It's been a really good conference so far. I'm just joining one talk this morning, and then I've got a few other things to do. Is this a good angle? So that was really good. I'm really enjoying this conference. I'm hoping to make it to some more later or catch the recordings. Another good tip is if you register for a conference and you can't go, a lot of the time they will send out the recordings to people that were registered. So that's always worth checking if you can't make the dates of a conference. Sorry if my face was really serious during that. Again, a topic for another day, but my PhD research is about something that's highly kind of emotive, quite, very serious topic. So It's not kind of a laugh a minute when you go to these conferences, although everyone is always really nice. And I find that it's a really compassionate field. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. And again, head is just spinning with lots of ideas. So that's really great. So quick glasses change. Did you notice? I'm gonna now go walk the dog as there's a break in the rain and I need to take him out before I go out. So that was a nice refreshing walk in the sunshine. Now I'm going to go down into town because I need to pick up a prescription. And I will say that that's one thing that I've found about going part-time with work and doing the PhD part-time, and that whole balancing that I was talking about. I mean, it's still taken me like 2 weeks to pick up a prescription, but previously, you know, they've been there for weeks on end and I've just not been able to go and get them. So that's really nice. So I'm going to walk down into town and do that. For those of you who don't know, I live in Falmouth, so I go to the University of Exeter's Cornwall campus, which is where I did my undergraduate degree and then ended up staying afterwards. So that's where I live. That's why the sea was in the last clip. I really love it, and it's, you know, a really nice community to be part of. The campus is really small. You get to know the lecturers loads. This is not an ad. This is just my honest opinion. Yeah, you really get to know the lecturers. That's how I ended up doing my PhD. I'm going to do some tips on that in the future, but basically I've known my PhD supervisor since I did my undergraduate degree, and that's been a great support to me to getting to this point, despite not knowing kind of how to get into doing a PhD. So yeah, that was a long ramble to say that I'm walking into Falmouth now. Hello, so I am back home now. I have taken off my light sweatshirt because, as most people in Cornwall, we live at the top of a big hill. So hill plus asthma plus cold equals sweaty mess. But I will say that one of the perks of working from home for the past like year and a half has been being able to make lunch at home. As a celiac, it's really, really difficult to find gluten-free food on the go and can be really expensive. So I've definitely saved a lot of money cooking at home and being able to have so many different things because I've got like the hob, the oven, the toaster, like all of these different things, which if anyone's gluten-free, you will know that you need in order to make a nice gluten-free meal. It is nearly October, so I have gone for soup, which isn't a favourite of mine, but it's exactly what I need on these kind of autumnal days. I don't like autumn and winter. I'm very much a spring summer person. So yeah, I'm gonna have some lunch and then I'm gonna pack up and get ready to go onto campus. So while my lunch is cooking, I thought I would show you what I take onto campus with me when I go and work. This is a very lovely but tatty rucksack that I inherited from my partner because I kept using it so much, but I am looking for something new that will have a separate compartment for my laptop case. I don't know if this is useful or not, but I thought the vlog was a bit not very interesting with me just saying I'm going to do this now and I'm going to do that now. So here we go. First of all, snacks. Nice little Amazon box in the background there. Gluten-free biscuits, which I've realised those really like leave me with black teeth, so that'll be fun if I'm filming the vlog later. Some crisps. I very much like snacking when I'm writing, especially, not so much if I'm reading, but if I'm writing I very much sort of eat which probably isn't the healthiest thing, but it works for me, and I think you've got to lean into these things when you need to. Bottle of water, which I'm really getting into taking. I'm not brilliant at drinking water or drinking full stop, so that is really helping me at the moment. just had to pause there for a quick sneeze. And then I take a face mask. I'm still quite cautious on campus. There's a lot of people now. When I was there over the summer, there were a lot less people, but now it's rammed again, so I am wearing those when I'm walking around. I take some in-ear headphones because I find that with my glasses now, over-ear headphones give me a headache with my glasses. Hairbrush. This is my purse, which has paint samples in at the moment because we're about to do our bathroom. Can you guess what colour? And it's covered in guinea pigs and is useful just to be able to get a coffee or a snack on campus. More snacks. Paracetamol, I would take this anyway actually, even if I didn't have a cold. Sometimes I can just get a headache from concentrating or reading or whatever, so I find that very useful. Phone is normally in there, but obviously I'm filming on that at the moment. And then not a lot in my actual bag. I've got my laptop here, which I will say I treated myself to a Macbook Air and I'm absolutely loving. I've never used Mac before. It was a bit of a treat to myself for getting my PhD funding and I am really, really loving it. I have a separate little one of these. These were really, really cheap on eBay. Holder for the charger and anything else. And then I tend to take books. This is a very, very good book written by another Amy. Anything that I specifically want to read that day, I will take. So I've got an aim of reading these 3 books this afternoon whilst I'm there. Got a few other things I need to do, so this may or may not happen, but I find that if I put a manageable amount of books in, I will read them. So yeah, that's all I take really. I don't live very far from the campus, so if I need to pop home for anything or go home instead, then I will. So I'm going to have lunch now. I thought I would just quickly say as well, I take a lot of books. I love using the library. I love using real books where I can. I know some people work completely online and there's some things that you have to access online, like journal articles, which are basically, articles that can vary in length from just a few pages to ones that seem to go on and on and on for tens of pages. And they're usually online and you get sort of free access to those with your university email address and login. But where I can, I like to have books to mix it up and not have so much screen time. If anyone would be interested in a separate video about using the library, I know that university libraries can be quite daunting. I was very lucky that I had a family friend who is actually, or was, a librarian in a university. Hello if you're watching. And she showed me around her university library and how to use that, and all of them are fairly similar in the systems that they use. So that might be a really dull video if you're not interested in libraries, but it could be really useful. So comment down below if you'd be interested in that. And let me know, do you use real books or do you prefer just reading everything online? Voila. And a new season of Modern Family has just been added to Netflix and I didn't watch it before, so I'm going to enjoy that with my soup. So I'm about to head on to campus now. I am stationary in my drive, I should say. Some people might say, why do you go into campus for just a few hours in the morning or afternoon? But for me, the change of scenery really helps me complete different tasks to sort of keep on being focused, and it's a chance to go into the library and pick up or drop off any books that I have, and potentially see people. The other day I went in to scope out some lecture theatres and seminar rooms that I'm going to be teaching in over the next year. But today I'm going to work from the postgraduate sort of research study area that they have in the humanities department, which I've never done before. I've always been going to the library, but the library is absolutely rammed now. And the postgraduate study area yesterday was completely empty, so I'm going to go give that a go. And yeah, the other reason I do it is because I can't leave the house for the full day. I would have to come back and check on the dog anyway, and you have to pay for parking and it would double that. So yeah, let's go. So it's super quiet in here and no one else in here, but I'm not sure if the glass is soundproof or not, so I'm talking quietly. The first thing I'm doing at the moment is just updating my timetable for my supervision next week so my supervisors can see whether I'm on track or not. And then I also need to go over my draft chapters, so you already have kind of a contents page and an outline from the beginning that you're working towards that you keep updating. So it's pretty quiet in here, there's no one else in this study space, which is really good, and I've got everything I needed to do for my supervisors next week. And so now I'm going to do some reading, and I thought I'd show you like how I keep track of my notes and everything. So a lot of PhD students use something like this. I use something called Zotero, and basically it keeps track of everything that you've read. It has all of the stuff that you need to do referencing afterwards, and then I use this notes section to add any notes I have about the books. And you can also add tags so you can find things which I've not been brilliant on doing. And the great thing is that I found the book online and then click one button and it automatically populates all of that information. I've done it twice, look. Or maybe I've read this, but yes. So basically it's really, really useful. And if you're wondering how people read like hundreds of things and know what they've read, this is how. Hello, so it is now exactly 5:15. I am back in my car. The other thing that I pack in my bag that I didn't show you earlier was my inhaler, because similarly to the rest of the Cornwall, the campus is on a hill. So the car park that I am in is at the top of said hill. So yes, I just returned one book that I finished this afternoon to the library. Essentially, I return them as I finish them. I don't wait, because it's something about that makes me feel better that I've actually read one and returned one and got one off the pile of books that I have at home. The good thing about being a PhD student is you can borrow, I think it's up to like, I don't know, maybe 20 books or something, and you get them for a year, as opposed to sort of, I think 2 months or whatever you get when you're an undergrad. So that's really helpful, but I like to get them out of the way once I've read them. So yes, very productive day. I forgot that my new phone doesn't have a headphone socket, so I couldn't actually listen to any music in my in-ear headphones, but other than that, it's all good. There are some people staring at me filming at this, which is why I've not filmed very much today. Sometimes I work better in silence, sometimes I work better with music. Today actually I was better in silence. It was quite good because where I was, as you saw, was like a glass box, so you've got people walking past occasionally, but it's really quiet, but not so quiet and tucked away that you don't feel any responsibility to do work. So I'm going to stop at the supermarket on my way home, pick up some bits and bobs for dinner, and go home and make dinner. And then in the evening, when we're watching telly, I usually read a couple of books or do something that I can do without paying full attention to it, just do some skim reading and probably edit this video or another video. So yeah. Oh, somebody's missed me. Have you missed me? Have you missed me? Hello. Oh, puppy. Puppy. So I think I will end the vlog here. As you might be able to hear, the dog's going crazy about the fact that I'm back. My partner's home. It's gonna make tea. As I say, when we watch telly, sometimes I do some reading, edit some You Better Work videos, try and have some relaxing time. The great thing about going part-time in the week means that I've got all of my weekends back, and I try to keep my evenings as relaxed as possible. I hope that that's been useful in some weird way. I don't know if it will have been. Might watch this back and be like, I'm not putting that up. But I think for me, I didn't really know like what the day-to-day was of a PhD student. I might do this each year in case it changes. And for those of you sort of just watching this video, I'm in my first year of doing a PhD. I'm doing it part-time. So it's technically my second year, but it counts as part of your sort of full-time first year. Things change as you go through a humanities PhD, so yeah, maybe I'll do an update every year. Let me know if it's been helpful. If you've enjoyed this video, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and give the video a thumbs up, and have a great week. Bye!